Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Hi Neighbor.
This season brought many great memories, and it's been a pleasure to get to know the Boone community while sharing all those moments with you all.
For our last episode this season, we wanted to take the time to look back at some of our favorite memories.
We also wanted to wish our fellow host and friend, Annie, farewell as she graduates this semester.
Join us in sharing our town's treasures of this season as we say for the last time this year.
Hi, neighbor! For the past 3 seasons, Annie Jones has been a part of the Hi Neighbor team. Now as she prepares to graduate in a few weeks, we'd like to see how hosting Hi Neighbor has helped her feel ready to take on life after App State. Hello, Annie. Thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me, Ned.
Of course. This is your first time on the hot seat.
It is.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you get involved into Hi Neighbor?
I got involved with Hi Neighbor because I was doing a news show and I was doing a comedy show, but I wasn't doing anything like this. I really wanted to get into the interviewing and the talk show style kind of show. So I auditioned and it worked out. It was my shot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously you've been here a couple of seasons. You're a seasoned veteran. You've been here for a minute. So how would you describe the past, couple of seasons? How have they gone for you?
I mean, they've only been getting better. I feel like the content that we put in and like the work that this crew does is incredible. It's been an amazing show to be a part of, and it's really been something I look forward to weekly, is being here with you guys.
Of course, of course. And obviously, working together, we all know the things that happen behind the scenes, all the editing, all the jokes, and all the laughs. What are some small lessons you were able to kind of pick and fizzle through all of that? Because, a lot happens in this studio.
Well, I think, just keeping your cool and knowing if you mess up, it's okay, because we're able to, redo it as many times as we need to get the show that we need, being a pre-recorded show. And I really just, I guess, some of the trials and tribulations I've been through with the show, just thinking of interview questions and how to get what you need out of your subject on being on your end of things, and just getting how to frame the question to get what you need them to say for your story. I think has been challenging, but also most rewarding throughout this experience.
Of course. And obviously we've been doing this for a while. Obviously we're both about to graduate soon, holding in the tears. How would you say this whole opportunity has prepared you for your career post-graduation?
I feel like this opportunity has prepared me in a way, because otherwise, I wouldn't feel so comfortable just talking to anyone and everyone about what they do and their roles in the community. And I feel like it's really nice to delve deeper into some of the things people do out here, because we get to highlight so many moments that you would not regularly get to find out about if it weren't for this show. And I feel like I really love that about this.
And, I've already spoken about some of the things that happen behind the scenes. We have our awesome staff and just all these amazing people we work with. What is some of your favorite things about just being on the show, period?
Some of my favorite things about being on the show is, coming out here weekly, being able to just laugh with you guys and have a good time.
A lot of laughs.
And a lot of laughs. And, just coming up with the content that we love to spread. I feel like I really have enjoyed just being here. And Hi Neighbor is a huge part of AppTV to me.
Of course, we've been here for a minute. And a while, actually. We've been doing this for years. So, of course, we're going to have some rookies, some new people coming in for future seasons. What advice would you sprinkle their way if you could tell them one thing?
My advice to them would be to not be afraid to jump into anything you want to do. Don't let anything hold you back. If there's something you want to know more about, a story you want to, see thrive, push for it, because it can really happen. And it could be something great for you to use on your reel, or this show I feel like is the perfect example for someone's reel.
Exactly.
It's realistic, it's a good show because you're able to, like I said, highlight so many important parts of the community, and I just, yeah.
Post-graduation, we've been doing this show for a few years now. Post-graduation, what are some of the things you think this show has really helped you achieve, or maybe will help you with in the real world?
Like I said, being comfortable talking to people, interviewing. I think this show is a great example of what an actual talk show is like. We have a number of guests come on and we're able to interview them, and I feel like that's such good practice for this major and for us in general as talent and for everyone else on the crew. In post-graduation plans, you would put me on the spot like that. Personally, right now I'm gonna take a minute off. I'm gonna go enjoy the holidays and enjoy New Year's and get right back into my job applications. But for where I'm moving back home to Charlotte, because that's where I'm from, and I plan to hopefully 100% get a media job there in Charlotte, at least for a couple of years, and then move on to a different city.
That sounds perfect. Now, of course, you've been with us for 3 to 4 years. Do you have a final goodbye or just any last words you'd love to leave with Hi Neighbor?
I guess all I really want to say to Hi Neighbor is thank you so much to each and every one of you for being here for me and helping me get to this part of my whole college career. I mean, it's been a pleasure to work with each one of you. And as the seasons change and new people have come in, like, it's only gotten stronger relationships, and I truly cherish this show. So thank you so much, Hi Neighbor, for making me who I am today.
Thank you so much, Annie. It was a pleasure working with you. You were an amazing co-host, and you taught me so much about just being a calm student, period, this show, everything. Truly, we'll miss you.
Thank you so much, Ned.
Of course. Of course. Coming up, Hi Neighbor hosts share their favorite moments of the season on the show. But first, here's a look at some of the bloopers that did not make it onto the episodes.
Well, I hope that the crew will stay with us past this episode, even though we may goof around a little bit. So,
You ready?
yes.
Bro, you're standing next to like the 2 shortest people they could have possibly.
I mean, I could always just like take a step back.
Okay, now you're like our height.
Yeah. I mean, I just look like I have a long torso now.
Oh, yep. Alrighty, we got it. Third time.
Yeah, I know, it's embarrassing. Okay, all right. That's all for this week's episode.
Thank you for joining us today to learn about art in our community. Hopefully this will inspire you to get out there and create.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and watch AppTV. What is going on? I say this every day. Okay, let's go back. Okay.
Actually, though, that's what I do every time I'm like trying to.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just like.
Like I do a dance.
Watch AppTV.com and check out your what am I TV? I not talk right now?
AppTV.
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 Yeah.
Well, both me and Madison have. Act up, you can get snatched up.
Act up.
You can get snatched up.
Hey guys, this is Hi Neighbor. I'm John Park. I'm so glad this will be on the blooper reel. Oh.
I say this a lot. AppTV.com. And watch AppTV.com. AppTV.
AppTV.
AppTV.com.
So tell me, in what ways can volunteers help further Farm Cafe's mission?
Well, they're the base of what we do here. Our volunteers are the key because our labor supply is volunteers. So every day we rely on the volunteers who come in and fill the different positions, whether it's washing dishes, serving the food, helping out in the back with food preparation. So about 90 to 95% of our labor force is volunteers. But we also need the daily volunteers who can come in, who can help us, and who can also share that information. That's one of the best things for us is word of mouth, and particularly the student population. That's where we rely on. I mean, we constantly educate, we give out information, but it really works best when one student says to another, you know, hey, did you know about Farm Cafe? Did you know we can eat there? I go eat there every day. It's really great. It's a good meal. And a lot of students are food insecure, and they're not going to talk about it because it's embarrassing for them in the culture they're in. I wish that it wasn't. I wish that people could be honest about these things. But it's important to us that those folks are able to get in here and have a place they can have a meal. And it's also great for the students because it's a good place to just come in and hang out.
I know the community is so thankful for you.
Well,
Thank you for having us today, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Denyce Froman, thank you so much for being on the show. As we start out, would you mind telling me a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I'm a poet, a performer, and an educator. I travel across the country working with college students all over campuses to really get students to fall in love with the power of their voices. My medium is through poetry and spoken word, but ultimately I want students to build an intentional relationship with language. And so poetry for me and using art for social change is really the way that I have conversations around some of the most important topics that are close to my heart and to the communities that I care about. But it's also a way for us to slow down time and really take a second look and develop, again, a more intentional relationship with language and sort of unraveling and unpacking our own identities.
Now, just a few minutes ago, you were up there giving an amazing performance of some of your poetry, and I was curious to know, in your poetry, you talk a lot about your heritage and people like using their heritage, well, going to protect their heritage or like standing up for it. So I'm curious to know, what does poetry really mean to you? I mean, what does the process, what does the performance, what is that about, what does that create, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an extension of a really rich Nuyorican poetry movement, a history of poetry that to me cares about audience and believes that the performance doesn't happen where the performer stands necessarily, but in what gets created between performer and audience, right? And so to me, ultimately, these performances are communal gatherings. It is a way we get to show up as ourselves and really see each other and really identify with our truths. And I think building community through art is really important to me. And so that's why these events are really important to me, because I, started out at an event very similar to this. The first time that I shared a poem of mine was at a college on-campus event that the Multicultural Office put on one year. And that really opened up a portal for me to discover the power of my own voice. And if it wasn't for those opportunities for these kinds of events on college campuses, I don't know that I'd be here.
And so when it comes to Hispanic Heritage Month and events such as this, what does this period of time between September and October 15th mean to you, and what should it mean to the greater community, you think?
I think it's a moment for us to thank our ancestors. I think it's a moment for us to call in the people who made us feel more possible. I think it's a moment to reflect on all of the important figures throughout history who have paved a way for us to be here. And also, I think it's an opportunity for us to commit ourselves to celebrating our culture 365 days a year. This month is a really important month where we get to highlight our community's contributions, where we get to really showcase the vast diversity. We're not a monolith. Latinos are a very vast and diverse group of people with many different subcultures and ethnicities within that umbrella term. And so for me, I think it's a really important month for us to, again, highlight all the wonderful and important contributions that we've made, but also commit ourselves and dig into the historical struggles that have made us more possible.
When it comes to poetry, starting out especially, it's really hard. As speaking from personal experience, you have to open yourself up to vulnerability and being willing to share that kind of stuff. And I can only imagine what that's like when you are female, person of color, or LGBTQ, and how complicated and how difficult that can be for some people. I was just curious if you might have any words of advice for those people out there who are aspiring to become poets, but are maybe just afraid to step out there onto the stage for the first time.
Sure. I think if you're nervous, it means you're doing it right. I think that it means that you care about what you're writing about, so much so that your body is having a physical reaction. It is a scary thing to tell your truth in front of an audience, many of whom you may not know or have never met before. It is a brave act, a radical act. I believe a radical act of liberation, to not become a smaller version of yourself and to step into your skin and your truth. And for me, I stepped to stages, the first time I came out was in a poem on stage before I told my family members, because I knew that if I could stop lying on stage, I could stop lying in my real life. And so poetry propelled me to live a more truthful life and gave me the strength that I didn't have. And when I say poetry, I also mean, and especially mean, the community that poetry brings and has brought into my life.
All right. Well, I am just so honored to have the chance to talk to you. I respect you immensely for being out there and representing your community and delivering some amazing poetry as well. So once again, thank you so much, Denyce.
Thank you.
neighbor. I'm Ned Moultrie with AppTV, and I have a great guest with me today, Julian.
Nice to meet you.
I love your positive energy. So what about the Watauga Farmers Market do you love so much?
It's just the whole scenery, like with all the people and like selling your own produce to people who are enjoying it. And like today we had a lady over that said, that whole booth just makes me so happy. And I'm like, man, thanks. That's like one of the nicest things I've ever heard. It's just the whole community and like, I don't know. It's just everything.
What you guys kind of got selling around here? I see some flowers, some pumpkins.
Yeah, so now that it's fall, we shifted towards like flowers and some squash. So we have decorative gourds, we have some pumpkins, and some beautiful wreaths.
Most people know that the Watauga Farmers Market is, kind of a weekly thing. Do y'all come every week? Or are y'all here and there?
No, we're here every week, all the time. And I would like to be here like even more often, but man, things can't be changed.
It's just so much positivity. I love it. I love it. I'm with Tom Lowe. Meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you, sir.
And we're just kind of browsing around, looking at some of these stands. What exactly are we kind of selling here?
Peaches and apples, Asian pears.
And when do you what is kind of the season for the fruit? When do you kind of start growing? How long does it take?
Well, we start picking peaches 1st of June, and we'll pick till October peaches. Pick apples July through October.
And also, Mr. Lowe, what is your favorite thing about the farmers market?
Just the variety of people from all over the world here, and good people, and loyal customers.
That is awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My husband and I, we run Blue Ridge Apiaries, and my husband is a 4th-generation beekeeper, and we've been doing this for over 10 years, and we run around 600 hives up here in the high country, and we produce everything that you see here. He's the bee side of it, and I deal with the package side of it. So I'm the designer for the labels. I have a team of about 4 or 5 different high school students who come in and help. So yeah, who come help and bottle and stuff like that. And we've been coming to the farmers market. I think we're in our 8th year here. So
how exactly do you kind of get this so nice and neat? Because it just looks so great.
Thank you. I have I used to be an art teacher in a previous life, and then the business kind of just took over our lives, and so we just went that route. So I just took my art background in terms of designing. He picks out the packages, and then I design everything for that, and then we look at it as a team and just go from there. So
my last question is, this is such a positive, just beautiful place. What is your favorite thing about the Watauga Farmers Market?
Just how friendly everybody is. Everyone's here is in a great mood. We can bring our kids here, and I can't think of any other environment where my kids can have a free reign like I did when I was little, and everybody's in a positive mood. Everybody that's come here, the customers are great, your vendors are great, so I think it's just a wonderful aspect of Boone that more people need to know about.
This week, Annie Jones shares with us a special event happening at Grandfather Mountain that you won't want to miss.
Hawkwatch is an annual tradition throughout the month of September, bringing the community together for their love of raptors and wildlife. Come and grab a front row seat to one of life's most beautiful cycles and witness firsthand the hawks as they migrate for the winter right here in the backyard of your community.
Hawkwatch is located on top of Grandfather Mountain at Linville Peak, across the mile-high swinging bridge. At an elevation over 5,000 feet, this site offers a 360-degree view so visitors from all around can gather and watch and count the raptors heading south for the winter.
A lot of our people are just casual visitors. Generally, they're always intrigued to see what we're doing with spotting scopes and binoculars and just looking and pointing in certain directions.
With a pair of binoculars, you can observe migrating raptors of prey. Grandfather Mountain is one of over 300 Hawkwatch sites founded by the Hawk Migration Association of North America. The annual count provides data of hawk populations and migration routes for land management decisions. Serving more than just a spectacular view, become a volunteer and get a part of the action.
People come together and you meet people who have the same love for the environment and their curiosity, and they're all here just trying to, get a view and just gain more insight and understanding. Oh, that's incredible.
Raptors of prey include hawks, falcons, eagles, owls, and vultures. The raptors are migrating for warmth, food, and safe places to breed.
We did see an eagle that just soared over about 15 minutes ago, so it's pretty incredible.
Gates at Grandfather open up at 9 in the morning. Hawkwatch is available all throughout the month of September when weather permits. Reporting for Hi Neighbor, I'm Annie Jones.
Well, that's it for the final episode of this season of Hi Neighbor.
Thank you for joining us and helping tell the stories of the leaders, businesses, and organizations in our community.
We had a great time this season exploring Boone and learning about what makes our town so unique, which we think is the people.
Although we won't be back till next season, make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at watchapptv.com and check out our YouTube channel, Watch App TV, for more content or even to rewatch your favorite episodes from this season. Until next time, and for the last time on this 7th season of the show,
Bye, neighbor.